Welcome back to another episode of Emotional Nightmares. My name is Tyler. I am your host. And on today's episode, we're going to continue with the same theme around the way. This season has been really focused on the mental health side of things and not so much on the substance abuse on its own. So on today's episode, we have with us author, written several books from what I see here. So we have Dallas with us. And we are going to talk about his journey and about some of the books that he wrote, and definitely interested in getting into the step system with you while we're in here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. So Dallas, if you want to say hello to the audience here.
Hello, audience. Great to be here.
All right. So let's talk about some of your books, right? So we've written, let me make sure that I'm correct on all this, right? So I got Fit 5 Life, The Gift, The Step System, and Cancer Combat, correct? Okay, am I leaving any out?
Yeah, some old things, but we won't go there.
All right, what was the first one?
Well, they come in a sequence of events after what I call the year of life collapse. So if we could, how about we start at the beginning?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
And the beginning is the beginning for us today. And that is creating an agreement between you, Tyler, and myself.
Okay.
The agreement would be something small. What's the purpose of every human being? That's a small thing to agree on, wouldn't you say?
I can agree with that, yeah.
So I always start here because there seems to be so many people wanting to, what's the meaning of my life? What's my purpose? Trying to find this great being of meaning in our lives. And I think we all know it. We are born as it. Ask any parent, what do they want for their child? And after doctor, lawyer, space astronaut, whatever, they will say, I just want them to be healthy and happy. Every person as they age and get close to retirement, they hope for basically two things: to be healthy enough to enjoy their life, be happy. So I think we could see that every human being on the planet seeks this stillness of the heart, this healthy, happy place to live. So we can fundamentally say we know the purpose of every human being. We want to be happy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like the way you put that. I guess I never really looked at it like that.
So it begs the question, why aren't we? What's in the way? If we already know the destination, the place we want to reach, why aren't we reaching it? And what's in the way is your story, my story. Everything that happens to us since we're little tiny children creates a story of who we are. I meet you, Tyler, at a party, face to face, live in person, and I say, nice to meet you, Tyler. Tell me something about yourself. You tell me a story about a human being named Tyler. You don't tell me I'm a human being alive and breathing on planet Earth, because that's all you are. That's all you are. But you don't say that. You say, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a father, I'm a brother, You start telling me a story about who you are, your identity. We all build this story, and at a certain age, we identify that story as us. I am what I've gone through. We call it emotional baggage we carry. Parts of our story that hurts and is suffering, and we drag it with us. So I came out of my childhood, bullied and abused, physically and psychologically, and I knew I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I couldn't pass tests at school. I wasn't fitting in. And you drag this baggage, filled with anger, regret, frustration, anxiety about what's about to happen. And it's constant, and it builds and builds and builds. And I think each one of us come to our first addiction. And it's the same for every human being. We call it blame. I blame my childhood. I blame school. I blame the church. I blame Boy Scouts. I blame my friends. And I blame my spouse. I blame my children. I blame my boss. I blame the president. I blame the economy. I blame climate change. And all this blame is an addiction because it protects us from our own responsibility for our lives. Something out there has made me this way. Something out there forces me to do what I have to do. Something out there is giving me all this pain and frustration and worry and stress. Not me.
Yeah.
It's something out there. It's you. You're the problem, not me.
Well, that's what I always say. Like when dealing with clients, it's so much easier for them to blame other people than take responsibility for themselves. You know, it definitely is. So like
So
with
if that addiction isn't strong enough, if that medication doesn't stay strong enough, I needed alcohol.
yeah,
Then I needed drugs to add to the alcohol to medicate against facing the pain, facing me. Keep it away. Oh, this is fun. I'm high and I don't feel the pain. I'm okay. But of course, then the highs wear off and the pain gets worse.
it gets like, yeah, much worse.
It only turns up the volume on the pain when the drug isn't there, when the medication isn't there, when I can't get that medicine. So this, of course, leads to disaster in every addict's life. You come to that place where it finally, there is no fixing it. And for me, I woke up one morning, luckiest person in the world, I had cancer. This was the greatest thing that could possibly happen because it was beginning to force me to look, to actually see for the first time. And in the next 12 months, I go through cancer treatment, my wife leaves, I lose my house, my business, my family, and I'm broken, alone, suicidal, and alcoholic still. What a fabulous year! What a great thing to go through. So what happens is you either choose suicide or you wake up. There isn't a third option. The life has been burned to the ground. There's no going back. Oh, just give me the drug again. I've crossed that Rubicon, as it were. That's over. But how to go forward is scary. And you can't rebuild the whole life in one go.
So what gave you the motivation to go forward?
Well, understand that you are a historical creature. We all are built on yesterday. Our story is all about the past. Everything we know, every knowledge we have, we got from experience, from yesterday. So yesterday is my story and my entire existence. There I was standing in the rubble of all those yesterdays burned to the ground. And I heard a man on a podcast say one line. He said, show me yesterday. Well, Tyler, show me yesterday. Where is it? Where is it? Can you go to a cupboard and pull yesterday out and go, here, Dallas, here's yesterday. What do you think? There isn't anything. So it's not real. This is my head went there and said, wait a minute. I have believed a story, and the story has almost killed me. How is a rational human being with a brain able to kill itself just on a belief of a story? There's no reality to the story. It doesn't exist. I was traumatized 50 years ago. I'm not being traumatized today. Why would it be here hurting me? Because I packed it into a bag, threw it over my shoulder, and walked with it for 50 years. I kept it company. I kept it close. I own it. It's mine. It's a part of my story. It's me. That's me doing it. The person that hurt me 50 years ago is long gone.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with it. The event was then. Its existence is forever in my memory. A story I believe. There's no reality to it. There's no such thing as trauma. It's invented in our mind. And then we have doctors telling us it's real. And I say, great, cut my head open and show me the trauma. Take it out. Well, of course you can't, because that isn't real. It doesn't exist. We just create the idea that we know knowledge. We know it's there. It's a psychic wound. It's a bunch of bullshit. We just believe it's real. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So when my story was burned to the ground, there was nothing to believe. If there was nothing to believe, there was no pain. So the alcohol suddenly evaporated because I didn't need medication. It just became so obvious and clear that the pain was in my mind. And the alcohol distorted my mind.
So then would you say, so at the moment when everything's falling apart, right? Like, let's go right there, because everything's falling apart in your life and you're drinking, right? You're carrying on with this. And to you, you're saying like everything, you had that realization that, okay, this is all a matter of my perception. Like I'm looking at this wrong. So let me change the way I'm thinking. Was that your pivotal moment of, all right, now let's do some different shit? Or was it like or what was the pivotal moment?
Yeah, there isn't a pivotal moment.
Okay.
I think that's very
Series of
hollow.
events. Okay.
Yeah, it was a 6-month period from hearing that line, "Show me yesterday." I then got out of the alcohol. It took about 6 more months. And within days of putting down the bottle, it became really clear that this belief is a lie. My story of who I was is a lie. It is a fiction. It's a movie that Hollywood makes up. There's a reason we connect to movies and we get emotional. We can even be brought to tears because we are the movie. It connects with us because we are stories we believe to be true. So when I disbelieved, when I became a non-believer, there was nothing to believe. That vacuum, you find yourself, your heart, the loving creature that is you, that you were born as. Before you got a name, every human being who looks into the face of a newborn baby sees the same thing. They see love, beauty, happiness. That's it. That baby has no name, it has no story, it has no image, it has no identity. It is just this beautiful, loving creature. But when you strip a story away and take all the beliefs away, guess what? You return to being that baby. All you are is what you're made of. And it's so hard for us to see because we live in a story that is so complex. We're watching it played out in the collective story mind on the planet right now. We've got world leaders exhibiting what? Fear and insecurity, lashing out each other like little boys in a sandbox fighting over trucks when you were a kid. It's no different. They're believing a story so deeply, people are willing to die in a war based on a story. There's no reality. If I can be convinced that you're a bad man and you're coming to hurt me, if I can be deeply convinced in that story, then what do? I'm only defending myself. I had to shoot him. I had no choice. That's a story.
Yeah.
You're not a threat to anyone. No person on the planet is actually a threat. They are scared. They are in fear and insecurity and lashing out. That's all we're witnessing right now. Netanyahu in Israel, Trump from America, Putin from Russia, the leadership in Iran, Zelensky. They're all boys scared. They're scared and frightened, and they don't know any other way to exhibit their fear and insecurity than to lash out. And all they want is the same thing you want and I want. They want to be accepted. They want to be loved. They want to be happy with life. That's all. But we're clouded in this story that scares the crap out of everyone. And we don't know how to deal with it because we're in the story. You see, you can't heal any damage when you're in a story. There's no healing from trauma. You can't heal from alcoholism. You leave it. You don't heal it. You walk away from it. We put the baggage down and leave. We leave the garbage at the curb. It goes to the dump.
100%, right? Like I agree with you, and I love the way you think, right? It's very fascinating. I love it. I love it very much. So let me go backwards some, right? Because like when you're going through this rationalization, so I don't know if you've watched some of our stuff on our channel, but majority of our stuff is very heavily centered. At least the first 3 seasons are very heavily centered around AA and NA and all that stuff. Did you find yourself going that route?
I attempted it, didn't like it at all.
Okay, and that's 100% fair, right? Because it's not for everybody, and
Yep.
like the whole concept of our podcast is, man, there's many pathways to recovery. I don't care how you get there, as long as we get there, right? So when you went there, wasn't for you. Can you describe to me like what gave you that strength, and like not even the strength, like the ability to say, all right, I know this doesn't work. I know this doesn't work. And like your perception changes, right? Which, man, I love it. I love how you're describing perception. I love it more than anything. So like when you're changing that, how do you say to yourself, I'm going to change the story to heal from this trauma that has occurred, that I got to get rid of? I got to get rid of it. So like, how did you personally get rid of it?
By not trying to get rid of it.
Okay. I like it.
Let me try and make this clear. I understood that everything about my story is an external belief. I believe in a world outside of me. Parents told me, bosses told me, school told me. Life tells me to achieve, to reach somewhere, to become something. Everything about us is put in an external form. Out there is happiness. Out there is love. Out there, I'm going to find all these things. I'm going to get the car, the hot chick, the house, have children, get a degree, whatever it is. It's an externalization. When my story burned down, I realized that whole thing is believing it's out there when the reality is it was right here all the time. I had no need. I didn't have to become something. I didn't have to change. I had to uncover the person that's always been there. They were covered up by a story and a belief in the other. So for me, AA was an externalization. I have like a coach, right? Someone that keeps me accountable. I'm following steps. There's a path. Everything is external. I can learn. Right away, my head said, this doesn't work. This is the trap.
Okay.
And I think it is, even for people who quit drinking because of AA, are still trapped in alcoholism. And I see it in this. 10 years sober, look at me. 5 months sober, look at me. Like it's a reward, like they've achieved something. That is a hanging on. That's a clinging to something that gives me meaning. There is no meaning in the world out there. Nothing you do has any meaning to me. Nothing you can say, no action you can take. I create the meaning.
Right.
That's the radical responsibility. Now, something I did take from AA, and I think is the whole message for everything in life, and what I use, I call myself a 16-hour coach. Why? Because I woke up one morning and realized the Step System book was about, I can't rebuild a life. It's too big. Everything's gone. What am I going to do? I can't chew on the whole meal. I got to take a tiny, tiny step. Now, my first tiny step was to say, I have to take AA's idea and just get through one day. If I sleep for 8 hours, I've got 16 hours of time to be conscious. I then distilled that and realized if we are only alive in awareness, in attention, in this very moment, we are only alive for 16 hours before I sleep. We only have one day. So I said, if I wake up this morning, can I take 30 minutes to go for a walk and do something for my body, eat some fresh air? Yeah, in 16 hours, I can probably fit in 30 minutes. Okay, so for 16 hours just today, could you eat a little better and not eat the junk you usually eat on? Yeah, for one day, I could do that. Could you not drink alcohol for one day? Yeah, one day I could do that. You see, all we have to do is live a life right one day. Can I phone a family member and say I love you? One person. Wait, one day? Yeah, I can. What starts happening? Life becomes really simple, really clear, and everything starts working because you choose one day. Not in the next 10 years I'm gonna. Not this happened to me 10 years ago and it's killing me. Just today. And soon as life became tiny, it became massively huge. Everything was in this little moment of life. And that clarity went, holy shit, all this other stuff is just a storm I'm believing from yesterday or worried about tomorrow. Nothing's happening right here.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's my favorite. I mean that's my favorite part is like I always look at it like I believe the same thing, right? Like I feel the same way. As long I'm gonna sleep 8 hours, probably 5, but I'm gonna sleep at least 8. I'm gonna eat for at least an hour at dinner. Plus I'm gonna eat lunch. I don't like to miss lunch, so I'm gonna eat at least 2 hours there. So like little by little, as I'm doing more things, I'm cutting down the time. So realistically, I got maybe 3 or 4 hours in the day of like this is when the pivotal moments could be. So as long as I'm protected for those 3 or 4 hours, the rest of the day is going to go pretty simple. So I'm a big component, like I believe a lot into let's just simplify this shit. Let's make it real simple. And I love your approach, right? Because your approach is very much that. It's very much the let's fucking make shit simple. I love it.
Here's the amazing realization you can come to. There is no time.
Yeah, speaking my
Because
language.
people go, there's not much time. I got to get after it. And they go, aren't you going to get moving? I go, I've got all day. Where's your life? I got all day. That is it. There's no time. Time is forever because you've got all day. It's right now. There's nowhere to be. There's nothing to become. You already won. You're here. Tyler is the most important human being on planet Earth. That's a fact. People go, well, that would be kind of selfish of me to think I'm the most important person. And I go, hold it. Tyler, if you weren't here, would there be a planet Earth for you? Would you experience a hug, a kiss, someone telling you they love you or care about you? No. So how could you not be the most important person on the planet? How could this day you get to live be the most incredible gift? The gift is the present, is the book. It's saying this 16 hours is the gift. It is everything you will ever be happens now. I can read your future. It's happening right now.
I like it.
This is it. There is no tomorrow to get to. You're here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it because
laugh.
I like the concept, right? And I like it a lot because I always talk to my clients about that too. Is like if we're just focused on tomorrow, we're missing what's going on right this second. Right this second,
Exactly.
let's look at the and I agree with you with the reward system of like the programs, different programs. We lose focus of, again, right now, here's this. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. I might fly out of the windshield on my way home from work, but I know right now is that moment. And like sometimes we miss those little moments that are so pivotal.
I'd say there's no problem in having a goal. A year away, 2 years away, I don't care. There's no problem with that. The problem is when you create the meaning for you that when you reach the goal, you will be something. That's the problem. The problem is you're going to attain something. That's the problem because then your headspace is about attaining something. It's not about being something.
Yeah.
See, and this is my thing is you are nothing. I am nothing. Our external world is about something. To win something, to buy something, to become something, to get somewhere, to achieve something. It's something we're going to get. We are no thing. We simply are. We don't need a thing because in being nothing, we are everything. This is all there is. It's not the shiny object out there that I want and I desire. That has nothing to do with it. That is the false reality in a story we believe.
I agree.
That's not the truth. That's just a story we believe. We keep buying into this story, and the story is complex. The story is difficult. Life is hard. It's a struggle. You need discipline, courage, all this stuff. It's a bunch of crap. That is story glue. I call discipline story glue because it means you're fighting to stay in your story.
Yeah.
100 years of psychology and psychiatric help. The best minds in the planet's history about psychology and the brain. 100 years. And what do we have today? More people on psychiatric drugs than ever before in history. More people in talk therapy than ever before in history. More young people suffering from mental health problems than ever before in history. It's been a disaster. And what do they offer? What have they offered us as a solution? After 100 years of the best psychiatric minds, coping skills, self-management, learning to live with yourself. This is outrageous. We should be appalled.
Yeah.
And why has it happened? Because we're in a story. Tyler, I walk out on stage this evening to talk to 500 people. I say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dallas Collis. I was terribly traumatized as a child. I struggled for years with pain and anxiety and regret and anger and fear and insecurity. It led me to alcoholism and drug abuse, and I finally got cancer. I lost my wife, my business, my house, everything. My life was destroyed. I almost committed suicide, but then I got strong. I dug down. I used discipline and courage, and I got back on my feet. And every day I'm working hard to deal with this life and fight through it. And the audience claps and they pat me on the back. You're so courageous. What a great example. Tyler, I walk out on stage this evening to speak to 500 people. I say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dallas Collis. I have no traumas, no fear, no insecurity. I have no regrets. I have no problems in my life. Every day is just beautiful. I love it. And I'm happy all the time. And the whole audience goes, what a weirdo. There's something wrong with this guy. And there you have the story mind.
Yeah.
If you are hurt, if you are broken, but you are trying, You are held up on a pedestal. But if you are healthy and strong and just happy, there's a problem. This is the society we've created. The story we are broken in. The reality, you have never been broken. Your reality is you've always been that beautiful, loving, happy baby. You still are. You're just clouded by these clouds and storms and lightning and thunder of the drama. The drama is the trauma. We're caught in a Netflix series and we can't wait for the next episode, even though we know the outcome. We know what's going to happen, but we still think there's something there. You grab a newspaper from 100 years ago and you look at the world, and guess what? It's the end of the world. Things are going wrong. There's wars. People are upset. World leaders are fighting. And 100 years later, here we are today. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. We're watching the same movie over and over, and we're convinced that we are the movie. We're not. We're the beauty and the love and the happiness, and you can walk away from your movie. You can get up out of your chair and leave the theater. Stop watching it. You didn't even write the script to your movie. Your story was written by other people, by other events, by the world around you. You didn't even write it, and we think we did. And so we say we can heal. We can fix it. We can write a new story. Why have a story? Why have an identity? What for? What does it mean? Why does every person, as they come to the end of their life, start seeing all the stuff they thought was so important isn't? Why do they begin getting this clarity of all they want to do is be with family and friends? All they want to experience is love and acceptance. Why is that? Because the story begins to fade. We begin to start seeing behind the curtain. And it's the wizard. And the wizard is us believing a story.
Yeah,
and
I
we
agree.
can pull the curtain back.
I agree with that 100%. Like, I know I always talk with people about the fact is kind of like what you're saying. If we put that value on things, we're gonna get to a point where it's like, okay, well, once I obtain that, like, it doesn't excite me no more. Number one, and number two, I can't have money or the house or the car or all this stuff as like my main source, because that's not going to bring me happiness. Like, at the end of the day, and I think for me it was because, like, I watched my grandmother go through MS, and like towards the end there, like, that's all she talked about was, I just want to be sitting here talking with you guys. Like, I don't care about none of this other stuff. Like, she was a nurse forever, and she's like, I put in all these double shifts and did all this stuff, and she's like, and for what? For us to buy a Subaru? Like, you know what I mean? And like, that always kind of stuck with me on that. Just kind of like what you're describing.
And that's the ego.
Yeah.
The ego is the deceiver that wants you to stay in the theater and watch your movie and believe it's true.
Yeah.
It wants you to stay there chasing shiny objects because that keeps you from looking behind the curtain. If you're always chasing something shiny, you never turn around to go, holy shit, it's a blue sky behind me. How come it's all clouds out here where I'm living? Is that blue sky always there? Yes. You don't turn around. The ego keeps you looking at the clouds going, look at the drama. Oh my God, this is amazing. Instead of turning around and going, it's nothing. It's just a sunny sky. There's nothing to do. It's just life. Yeah. I think this is the difficulty is we have been trained since childhood to believe in complexity. You need experts and degrees in college and science and math and all these things to figure out the world. And so this is why it's so difficult for you to understand. And we're afraid to find out that it's actually, we're really simple creatures. We're just here to be happy, to love, to share with each other, and just be together. And that's it. There isn't some great complexity, and that scares the hell out of the ego. It doesn't want you to find that out. That's why you get someone, I'll get a client to try and sit still for 5 minutes. Usually one of the first things I do with them. No phone, no screen, no sound, no music. Just sit alone for 5 minutes. It's impossible for most people. And that's the ego jumping up and going, what are you doing sitting alone? Because it knows what might happen. Silence brings clarity. This is why mystics for thousands of years have tried to lead people to silence, meditation, all these ideas. They're all about getting the noise out and seeing that all you are is space. openness, the beauty, and the love. That's it. That's all you are. It is the simplicity that scares the hell out of us. It can't be that simple. This can't be true.
I like it. I agree with you.
You can't be healthy. You have to be broken.
I don't think anybody's broken. You know, like
No,
I say that all the time. Like, we're not broken. We're just misplaced. You know,
confused in a story.
Yeah.
Just confused. That's all.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like your. I definitely like it. I like your way of thinking. It's definitely good. I like the simplicity of it. You know, I'm a big fan of simplicity.
We are simple.
We very much are.
This is the whole point. This idea that we're special and complex and difficult and everything is the illusion. Yeah. That's what keeps us trapped. That's the story mind.
What's
You're not your story. Your story lies to you.
Definitely. What do you got going on? Are you writing any more books?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of hopefully my opus, my real final solution for me to get my message out. Yeah, I'm working hard on it. I've been working for a year now.
Nice. What's the overall message? Like, what is your overall message?
That you are that baby. You are love, beauty, and happiness. And you're lost in a story. You believe your mind, the story mind. You think you are identified as that. The whole message is your story is lying to you. And you have the ability to walk away. Belief is not a great thing. You know, I tell this story. We got time?
Yeah.
A buddy I used to drink with every night. For 15 years, we met at the same bar after work. For 15 years, every single night. He was diagnosed with a ton of disorders, as was I. He went one way into disaster. I went my path of disaster. His was to the street and fentanyl and the zombie you see on the street today. That was him. I lost track of him. I assumed he's dead. I went through my disaster and came out the other side. And then I'm in a coffee shop one day about a year ago, and there he is sitting in a corner reading a book with a coffee and looks as normal can be. I am shocked. I mean, I was sure he was dead and gone. Bruce, holy crap, man, what happened? And he says, well, I don't really remember the street. I can't tell you anything about that. That's just such a fog. And thankfully so now. But he said, somebody coming by constantly talking about the church and God and Jesus. And it started to click. And I started going to meetings. And pretty soon the addiction started to fall away. My pain started to evaporate. My disorders seemed to just go. And I became happier and happier. And I was saved. Jesus saved me. And then we talked about it and we realized together, we had this same enlightened moment of we both had a horrible story. We believed we were that story. And that story almost killed each of us. Only because we believed the story. My path was to disbelieve the story and go without a story. His path found a new story. Jesus didn't save him. God didn't save him. The church didn't save him. A new story saved him. He went from a story that was full of pain and anguish and fear and hurt, and he went to a story that said love and beauty and happiness and you're accepted. And that saved him. We latch on to stories. And this was the ultimate proof that we are living in stories, not in the reality. If you grab a story of God and Jesus, good for you. I'm happy for you. If it works for you, it works for you. And that's all that matters.
Whatever works.
My path was simply, I don't want a story. I don't need one. I am thrilled and happy to be here today in this gift every day. And that's it. I don't need anything else. There's no need. I don't have any need in my life. I already have everything. I've got me. There isn't anything else.
Living in the now.
A better car doesn't change me. A bigger house isn't going to make me different. I'm still going to be me. That's why if my me is sick, I can have a mansion and a Ferrari and end up floating face down in my own pool. Because the me is the problem, not the stuff. So we don't attach to the stuff. Find who you really are. Without a story or with a better story, if that works for you. That's all it is. It's simple. Don't make it so difficult.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I hope the listener really hears that.
Giggling. Every day I'm just laughing constantly because of this simplicity. I just go, holy shit, I'm here and there's nothing wrong. This is great. This is absolutely fabulous. What more could I ask for from life? $1 billion won't change this. I'm happy. There's nothing else to attain.
That's how I feel. I always tell people, the greatest time in my life was when I was homeless, because I was able to actually live in that moment of like, all I gotta do is eat today. That's it. I didn't have anything else to worry about. And today, I've managed to get my life back to, it's just right now, like I don't, and it's simple, it is, and like I feel the same way. I find myself just laughing my ass off half the time, saying, how simple this is. I don't know. It's great. It's great when you realize
all that crap I thought was important was just full of pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
It didn't bring the happiness. It was all pain and suffering. And as soon as I dropped the bags, it was like, it's that simple. You can just walk away from all that crap. I don't need a medication. I don't need some therapist. I can just walk away. Holy crap, this is unbelievable. And I'm stunned that more of us aren't finding it. And that's why I do this. That's why I'm talking. That's why you're here. We're doing the same thing. We're trying to reach people and go, holy crap, man, it's pretty simple. There's nothing to get.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tell clients every day. I'm like, listen, I don't know why anybody pays me for this. Like, I'm really just standing here telling you, like, just stop. Like the fact that anybody gives me a check blows my mind.
And people are always looking for the secret,
the
steps, the recipe. And I go, there isn't one. All it is realizing you're here.
Yeah.
And that's it. There is nothing. There's no special secret sauce here.
Yeah.
You've always been this person, I say, have you ever gone on a walk and you come out on a vista or something and see this great view? For a split second, you'll have a moment of, wow. That's you. That's you just experiencing life.
Yeah.
Then your brain goes, oh, geez, tomorrow I got to get the car to the shop. Oh, yesterday I pissed off Sally. I hope she's okay about that. That's the story comes rushing in. But for a second there, wow, that was life. You can be there all day long. I look at my life and I just go, wow, I'm the luckiest person on the frickin' planet. I don't need anything. I've got it all. This is frickin' magical. Why didn't they tell me this was here all the time? Why did they tell me there was this big story? Why did they give me this song and dance and this drama to get lost in? I didn't have to do all that. I didn't have to spend 50 years drunk, stupid, doing drugs. I didn't have to. No one told me. It was always right here.
They did. You just got lost in the story.
It's unreal. Get out of the story. Don't believe your shit.
So how can our listeners find you?
Dallas Collis at gmail.com. Done.
You can find your book.
Simple.
Where can we pick up your books?
They're on Amazon.
Perfect. I'll put the links in the description.
If you've got a name, you can't hide today.
No.
Or do I really need to tell you my Facebook, my Instagram? Not really. You got my name. You can find me.
Well, to make it more simpler, I'll put it in the description so they can just click on it. Unless they're listening to us on Spotify, then I guess they gotta put in some real stuff. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, all right, man. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. It was a good conversation, good talk, man. I love the simplicity of it.
Appreciate you for doing this, brother. This is good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Don't stop.
No, I'm trying to make this more full time. So we're definitely have no plans of stopping. We're really picking up some momentum now. So we're
good
going.
Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So as always, man, listen, you guys could have been anywhere in the world. Today you sat here and for whatever reason chose to be here with us for 46 minutes. I greatly appreciate you listening. If you did not get what you need from this episode, if you're still struggling with whatever it is, there are more episodes, or there's a million podcasts out there. I don't care how you get help as long as you get it. If it's not from me, then by all means, just Google it. There's a million ways to get help. Find it. You know, the point is you don't have to suffer today. So put it down. If you're really struggling with, drug addiction, because I know that we deal a lot with drug addiction and alcoholism, instead of calling the dope man, call somebody that'll help you. And as always, we are available 24 hours, 7 days a week. We will help you if you need resources. So thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you share it and tell all your friends. Thank you.